Okay. All right. So I'm going to continue. It's been a while since I recorded the first session and I got to thinking about some things that I'm going to add. So I know in one of the first videos for the first chakra, I recommended the book Wheels of Life, but I've also added Anatomy of the Spirit by Caroline Myss and You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I might have already recommended these. And then a little addition, Light on Yoga, it's actually a big edition, by BKS Iyengar. And then another one that I need to open up on my phone is going to be the 7 Spiritual Laws of Yoga. And I'm going to work on linking all those together as I go through these teachings with you about the chakras. So yes, it's partly my experience, but it's also how I have sort of cultivated a catalog over the years, especially in the yoga teacher training. It's about, and I talked about this in the videos. It's about learning to read people's energy. So that's not just an intuitive thing. It's a learned and intuitive thing. And we're mostly talking about ourselves. Of course, we want to learn about ourselves before we start doing that. It's going to come naturally, though, the more that you study this stuff. So I just wanted to go over the first chakra, which I went over some of this already, but review, literally repetition is everything when it comes to this. People will ask, how do you know so much? It's like just the exposure over and over and over again. It starts to make more and more sense as you practice it yourself. And when you reread, the words make sense. Things just make sense with the exposure over and over. It's just like anything else. It's a muscle. You have to flex that muscle over and over again to grow it. So first chakra, earth, roots, grounding, survival, body, food, matter, beginning. We talked about the root being at the perineum, the base of the spine. The element is earth. The function is survival and grounding. The inner state, when it's balanced, is stillness. The outer form is solid. So think about the root chakra, literally trees, rocks, earth, things that are solid, things that feel like ground to you. Your rights for this chakra, the right to be here, the right to have. Outer manifestation, solid. Again, glands that it correlates with are the adrenal glands. Other body parts are legs, feet, bones, large intestines, teeth. The malfunction when it's imbalanced, weight problems, hemorrhoids, constipation, sciatica, degenerative arthritis, knee troubles. The color is red, associated with the color red. The sense is the sense of smell. The seed sound is lam, which you can use as a mantra to help to tune into the vibration of the root chakra and balance it. The vowel sound is O, as in rope, ope, like that, ope. Petals is 4 petals. When you see the image associated with chakra 1, which if you've ever been to our yoga studio here, see this 4 petal lotus on the outside, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the design inside. If you're into tarot, it's associated with pentacles, the tarot suit pentacles, root chakra. Planets, Saturn and Earth. The metal is lead. Foods, proteins, and meats. Also root vegetables, things that grow underground. For me, I've always been grounding, especially if you're a vegetarian. When you're trying to use food to get in touch with the root chakra or to balance it, then if you're a vegetarian, you would do root vegetables, colorful root vegetables, anything that you can find that's red. Beets and yams, they're not red, but beets, yams, regular potatoes, carrots, onions, Let's see, corresponding verb, I have. So when setting an intention about the root chakra, you'd use I have. The yoga path is hatha yoga. Obviously, physical movement helps with the root chakra. Herbs for incense, cedar, minerals, lotus stone, ruby, garnet, bloodstone. Animals, elephant, ox, and bull. And then the symbol, the lotus symbol, is 4 red petals, square, yellow square, downward pointing triangle, Shiva lingam, which is basically pure potential, around which Kundalini is coiled 3 1/2 times. So at the base of the spine, this is where the Kundalini, our energy, rises from the base of the spine, rises up to the 6th and 7th chakra over time. Don't really worry about that. That's a little more advanced. But if, an image comes to you of, say, a snake or a serpent, then that's related to the root chakra and the rising energy in the body. Hindu deities, Brahma, Dakini, Ganesh, Kubera, Uma, Lakshmi, Prisni. So literally, if just this information alone, if you take one thing and you say, okay, I'm going to focus my root chakra today on the inner state of stillness. And, you can just focus on stillness for a month. You don't have to go through every single thing. This is a ton of information right here. Other deities, Gaia, Persephone, Hades, archangels, Oriel. Chief operating force with the root chakra is gravity. All right. So more information. Now moving into Anatomy of the Spirit. This is a wonderful reference book. It's been in my library. All these, I think, have been in my library for over 20 years. So chakra 1, the organs, physical body support, base of the spine, legs, bones, feet, rectum, immune system. Mental, emotional issues related to the first chakra could be family, physical family, and group safety and security. Ability to provide for life's necessities, ability to stand up for self, feeling at home, social and familial law and order. Take some time, take notes on what I'm saying. Root chakra is definitely, we should work through all the chakras, but the issues related to that, ability to provide for life's necessity. It's important for us in this lifetime to not have a scarcity mentality, to know that we can live in a more loving state without having to worry about, a lot of us are fortunate enough in the United States to not have to worry about food and shelter and the basic necessities. So if you're one of those people, have gratitude for that and then raise the vibration to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th chakra, move through them and feel balanced in all them. Trust. I know a lot of us have scarcity mentality. It's never enough. We need to make more money. We need to do this. This is, these fears and worries that, yeah, we need to live. Of course, money is super important. It's a part of our energy. Take it like that. It just is part of energy. It's not the most important thing. When we have these things provided for, release that worry. Okay? Having more isn't always better. Worrying about money, even though nothing has really changed in your life over the past 5 or 10 years, you've always been provided for, let go of that worry. Doesn't mean don't work towards promotions and, creating a better life, but don't obsess about not having enough. Be grateful for what you have and work toward the changes that you desire. Okay. Physical dysfunctions in the root chakra, chronic lower back pain, I know that's where I originally suffered when I first got on this path many, many years ago. I had chronic low back pain at 20 years old. It had to do with abandonment issues, with childhood. So I worked through that and released it with Reiki, with reading these books and doing the practices with Kundalini yoga. That's when I first started getting to do Kundalini yoga. Sciatica issues, same thing. So chronic low back pain can sometimes also correlate with the sciatica. Varicose veins, rectal tumors, cancer, depression, immune-related disorders. So you can kind of start to see how they correlate with the mental, emotionals, and physical dysfunctions. So, if you don't feel like you can be at home anywhere, or you worry about money all the time, naturally you're going to feel a little depressed, or you're going to suppress your immune system because mentally, emotionally, things affect things physically. And I think vice versa some of the time. But as you start to work with this, you can bring balance into your life as you bring awareness to the issues that are happening. So that's from Anatomy of the Spirit. And there is more. This book is interesting because she talks about combining, like she talks about different spiritual avenues and how they're all related, and just a really, really beautiful job with all the correlations and how there's really no separation. We know this is no separation in religion, in spirituality, in each other, in every individual. We're very much the same. In the 7 spiritual laws of yoga, the first spiritual law is the law. So this correlates with the first chakra, the law of pure potentiality. So you can read in that what Deepak Chopra is talking about. This is the realm of pure awareness, is the domain of all possibilities that underlies creativity in all of its forms. Pure consciousness is your spiritual essence and the source of your joy in life. The realm of pure potentiality is the home of knowledge, intuition, balance, harmony, and bliss. Giving rise to thoughts, feelings, and actions, it remains undisturbed. This domain is the womb of silence that gives birth to all forms and phenomena in life. It is your essential nature. At your core, you are pure potentiality. And he goes on to talk more about it. So I want you to dive into that. And it is related to the hatha practice, physical. That's why I recommended the light on yoga, because if you have some physical issues, you can look them up at the end of Light on Yoga. There is a directory. It's kind of a little bit challenging to use because he lists the yoga postures only in Sanskrit. But if you go into the book, then you'll see, I believe. Okay, so there's no English version of the postures, but there's pictures, so you can see what they are. And you can look up the posture. So if you go in the back, there is a directory of postures and the related imbalance. So when you do this posture, it's going to help to balance that dysfunction over time, and of course, it could help to balance it, right? In conjunction with many other things that I know I've talked about in the other videos. It's the path that leads us to further healing and understanding. So there's no magic button. Once in a while there is, okay? But usually it's part of your lesson and it's part of your path to continue to learn about what's going on in your body and your mind and your energy. So that's at the end of Light on Yoga. There's a directory of postures. And then if you find the posture, you find the dysfunction, you find the posture, you can go back into the book and look up the posture and very slowly but surely work with those postures. And you can always get in touch with me if you need some help with, how or what are the modifications for that, because he kind of jumps into full expression, which can be overwhelming at first to look at. So a breakdown or you can Google it, look up a breakdown, a modification of every posture. that exists. So don't just try to jump into full expression of like headstand because it's supposed to balance your root chakra. Not recommended at all. Use common sense when it comes to yoga postures. And then, of course, we have You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. So now in this one, this is basically after you figure out where your dysfunction is, or imbalance, or whatever you want to call it. So if there's a root chakra dysfunction in this book, there's a directory. You could look up, say it is sciatica. Okay. So right here, sciatica, the probable cause. Okay. So these are the things that we might tell ourselves or things that have happened. Being hypocritical, fear of money and of the future, right? So you can see how that correlates with what I read about in, I think it was Anatomy of the Spirit, probably Wheels of Life, is having that ground in, that the scarcity mentality, not having that, releasing that fear, feeling safe in our lives, feeling that we are taken care of, that we take care of ourselves. It's easy to provide. That money is just an energy that flows just like anything else. So that's kind of that fear of money and of the future. Now she suggests a new thought pattern. So this is something that you can bring into your practices. So the way that I work with these thought patterns or affirmations is when I sit down to meditate, I will center myself, and then, or I might center myself, then journal. So I kind of get into that space. I start to change my energy and brain waves. You don't have to. And you can work with it during the various stages of your practice and throughout the day. So we don't cling to affirmations or thought patterns. These are things that we bring into our energy. We allow it to assimilate, and we release it, and we release the outcome as well, because we don't control outcomes, and we don't know. Like, we might have an idea of how we want the outcome to be, but the universe, and the way that we're working, we're co-creating, has a plan. So we trust that plan because we're doing the work. Okay. So the new thought pattern suggestion here is I move into my greater good. My good is everywhere, and I am secure and safe. I am secure and safe. And you can start to cultivate through all of the information that you have here, thought patterns that work for. If you want to get a little more specific, I like what Louise Hay uses. And actually, she gives these beautiful, like I can read that one, prayers that kind of cover all bases, unless you're really working deeply on one chakra. But this is beautiful. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. Each one of us, myself included, experiences the richness and fullness of life in ways that are meaningful to us. I now look at the past with love and choose to learn from my old experiences. There is no right or wrong, nor good or bad. The past is over and done. There is only the experience of the moment. I love myself for bringing myself through the past into this moment. I share what and who I am, for I know we are all one in spirit. All is well in my world. So we don't want to bypass where our imbalances and dysfunctions are. But if you read this, this really brings us to the present moment. And when we say this like we mean it, when we really feel this in our body, this covers the fear of lack, right? I share what and who I am, for I know we are all one in spirit. Okay, the past is over and done. I love myself for bringing myself through this past and into this present moment. This is a practice. Everything is a practice, letting go of the past and trusting in where you stand now, trusting in how you're creating your future. But being present helps to release that sadness over the past and anxiety over the future. You're just here now, which is the only place that we can actually ever be. here now in gratitude, taking a deep breath, accepting yourself for exactly who you are and what you are in every moment, and then doing the work over and over and over again. Things start to lighten up, and you can just lighten yourself up, really, in your mind and your body. Be like, I gotta lighten up. Things are getting too heavy right now. I'm taking myself far too serious. So I'm going to go through all that with each chakra. And I apologize. But like I said, I don't even apologize because repetition is key. So I know you might have heard it again in the other videos, but hearing it again is good because it starts to go in there. And I really just hope that you're taking notes. I want to hear your thoughts, your insights, your questions, whatever questions you have. I want to hear about it and your progress. And if you have questions about working with new thought patterns, affirmations, the yoga poses, how you're formulating a practice from this information, we're going to share that with each other in the Facebook group and, work together. Don't be afraid to share. Just share. Like, it doesn't matter who cares. Even if you say you've always been shy, doesn't matter. Just share. Just open up. We need that more than ever now. Okay, chakra 1, I believe you have enough. There's a million videos. I don't know that there'll be a million videos with all the rest of the chakras, but namaste, and I can't wait to hear from you.